What the voter has seen should be counted. EVM is a sacred chalice. It is not. It is an ordinary machine, dabba. So VVPAT was not meant to be a bioscope. Told the election commission the 2019 parliament election was not free and fair. Hacking is the easiest thing. So election commission is behaving like a rogue child, let me tell you. Election commission has absolutely zero control. After VVPAT is introduced, this manipulation is very much possible.
नमस्कार, द रेड माइक में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं संकेत उपाध्याय। ईवीएम को लेकर के खासी चर्चा चल रही है और ईवीएम को लेकर के ये भी बोला जा रहा है कि एक राजनीतिक तरीके से इस मुद्दे को उठाया गया है और राजनीति के चलते इसके बारे में बात हो रही। लेकिन ये अज्यूम कर लेना कि ईवीएम पर उठने वाली हर आवाज सिर्फ राजनीति है या ईवीएम अपनी अग्नि परीक्षा दे चुकी है और अब उसको कोई अग्नि परीक्षा देने की जरूरत नहीं है, ये सारी कुछ बातें हैं जो कि अभी पब्लिक डोमेन में चल रही हैं। इसमें तमाम लोगों ने तमाम तरीके की राय अपने सामने रखी है। आप जानते हैं कि कुछ लोग हैं जो कि बिल्कुल ईवीएम के पक्षधर हैं और कुछ लोग हैं जो कि ईवीएम के पक्ष में हैं, लेकिन वो ये भी मानते हैं कि इसको सुधारा भी जा सकता है, जिसमें पूर्व चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर जैसे कि एसवाई कुरैशी जी भी मौजूद हैं। ऐसे में ईवीएम पर काम करने वाले लोग जिन्होंने ईवीएम पर रिपोर्ट्स लिखी हैं, उसको बहुत डिटेल में स्टडी किया है, वो क्या सोचते हैं, वो क्या मानते हैं, हमें लगा उनसे भी बात की जाए। आई हैव द ऑनर एंड प्रिविलेज ऑफ इंट्रोड्यूसिंग मिस्टर MG Devasahayam. Thank you very much, Mr. Devasahayam, for joining us right here on the Red Mic. You're a former IAS officer, a noted author, and also under your guidance, the Citizens Commission on Elections has had a report called Is the Indian EVM and VVPAT system fit for democratic elections? So over the next few minutes, we are going to talk about your impression of the EVM. So thank you very much for giving us time right here on the Red Mic. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Yeah.
देवसायम जी, सबसे पहले मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहता हूं कि ये आपकी जो रिपोर्ट है, Is the Indian EVM and VVPAT system fit for democratic elections? Citizen Commission on Elections की ये जनवरी 2021 में आई थी। जनवरी 2021 में why did the CCE, Citizens Commission on Elections, feel the need to bring out a report on EVM and VVPAT?
It's a very good question. That's where we start. Because I am not only as an individual, I am part of a group called, you must have heard about them, Constitutional Contact Group.
Yeah.
We have about 200 former civil servants. Most of them are from the IAS, IPS, IFS, very senior people who have been secretaries of the Government of India, ambassadors, the whole lot. So we closely observe the electoral process. So we have been observing it ever since it was formed sometime in 2017. And what we found was rather disturbing. And I have been following the electoral process for a long time, starting from 2004, and particularly when Qureshi, the person you mentioned, is a good friend of mine, my junior colleague in the Haryana cadre, and I have been closely following the electoral process, the EVM and the VVPAT. What happened actually was 2009, EVM was introduced into 1998. But in 2009, there was a break point because BJP lost the election and BJP went war, a full-scale war, I would use the word war, against the EVM, headed by people even the people like L.K. Advani, Subramanian Swamy, GML Narasimha Rao. They waged a full-scale war, wrote a book, issued statements, condemnation, and Subramanian Swamy moved the Delhi High Court. And Delhi High Court categorically stated, last paragraph, there are a lot of doubts, security, EVM is not safe, but then we can't give any relief because it is not our job, it's for the Election Commission. So Subramanian Swamy went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court issued notice to the Election Commission. Now, EVM was under very serious scrutiny, and same thing couple of years earlier, around the same time, 2009, the same EVM went from the German Constitutional Court. Germany, as you know, the most advanced technology country in the world. And the argument put forward there was the technology argument. See, the technology argument, I want to say something, starting from the 1980s onwards, India also was caught with the technology fever. There's nothing wrong with that. Technology is good, basically for product manufacturing and service delivery, and a lot of things have happened. We don't know to go into it. Revolution has taken place. Our generation, you people might not even know how we used to suffer on various fronts because there was no technology. Now it is much better. So there is no problem. So then we thought they wanted to bring in technology into democracy also. That was the issue before the German Supreme Court. Should technology come into democracy? And German Constitutional Court was very categorical. They said no. Democracy is different. Technology is different. Technology is machine-based. Democracy is man-based. Man includes woman. So the concept was the elections do conform to certain essential democracy principles. That democracy principle is end-to-end verifiability. The voter, very put in simple words, the voter must be able to verify that her vote is cast as intended, recorded as cast, and counted as recorded. Because the court said she is not electing a student leader. She is not electing a trade union leader. She is transferring her sovereignty. Because in a democracy, citizen is a sovereign, and sovereign is transferring it to the elected representative. So he and she must have knowledge. So that was the democracy principles. So he asked a question to the Election Commission of Germany. They said, can you satisfy this? No. In case you can't satisfy this, we declare it unconstitutional. So it became unconstitutional, and the entire Europe went back to paper ballot. That judgment was available. But unfortunately, when this matter came up from in India is known for jugaad. You know jugaad. They'll come out with all kind of concoction. Say somebody suggested Qureshi was the chief election commissioner. And he and his colleagues, all the three of them I know very well, they have no knowledge about technology. So they consulted the technology people. I don't know who they are. They are a technology team. They said yes, because some article was written long ago in USA suggesting VVPAT, voter verifiable paper audit trail.
Audit trail, VVPAT, yes.
We will have VVPAT. They discussed. No due diligence was made. Qureshi convened a meeting of the political parties, and they also had no understanding. Very good. We can see the. They thought just showing it for a few seconds will serve the purpose, and matter was disposed of, and they told the Supreme Court that we will introduce the VVPAT. Supreme Court said, go ahead. Supreme Court also, you see, they are all lawyers basically. They have no, so they believed the Election Commission. So in good faith, the Election Commission at that time brought in this VVPAT and also realized, this is a very important point I am making now.
Yeah.
And also realized that once you introduce this VVPAT, which will show you a small slip, which contains the name and the symbol, there will be two votes. There will be two votes. One on the memory of the EVM, one a physical slip, which is shown to the voter and fall down and will remain somewhere. So they amended the rule. They amended the rule, conduct of election rule, Rule 56, that in the case of a dispute, the supremacy of the paper slip. Paper slip is a real vote. The amendment to Rule 56 says paper slip is a real vote. So it then follows that it is the paper slip that is to be counted. And if it is to be cross-verified, we can always cross-verify it with the electronic memory, because it is all available and we can do it at the press of a button. Okay.
But on the face of it, Mr. Devasahayam, does this not look fair? अगर आप क्रॉस वेरीफाई कर सकते हैं तो पता चल जाएगा कि जो वोट डला है वो वीवीपैट में दिखाई दे रहा है.
No, दिखाई देना. Let me complete it, then you will be able to understand. You can ask the question. Sure. See, the real vote is the paper slip. So you have to count that. That is what the voter has seen. He has not seen the memory. Democracy principles. What the voter has seen should be counted. So the actual problem started in 2017, 2018. I would even go to the extent of saying the Election Commission committed a deliberate fraud. And they decided that we will not count the paper, because 2014 election, there was no VVPAT. It was only in namesake, only in a few. But under Supreme Court orders, 2019 Parliament election, there was 100% VVPAT. So they had to make all measures, and they have to take decisions. And that decision, the election commission, we will not count the paper slip, but we will count only the. That is the time when we got suspicious. Something fishy. Actually, this decision took place sometime in January, February, when Mr. Jyoti, the former chief secretary, who had worked with Narendra Modi, was the chief election commissioner. He said, "Naam ke vaste, you do cross-check with one booth in every assembly constituency." One booth in every assembly constituency means 0.04%. Because normally in all major states, there are about 300 booths in an assembly constituency. So it is almost nil. And that too after the counting process is over, where everybody would have gone home. Election would have been declared. So when that announcement came sometime in January, February 2018, our group became suspicious. We have been writing, we discussed among ourselves, we held conclaves. In the conclave, Qureshi came, the previous chief election commissioners came, election commission representatives, senior people came, and we openly discussed. We did not do anything in secrecy. And we represented to the Election Commission of India that no, don't do it. Please count at least 30%. Statistical. Those days we are expert advice from statistical people also. But they refused. So
I think, Mr. Devasahayam, one point that you seem to be mentioning here is very significant, that if the voter has seen a VVPAT slip, then that slip must be counted and not the vote in the machine. But won't this defeat the whole process of having an EVM? The EVM was brought into...
That is only to facilitate. See, there is nothing... EVM is not... what do you call that, the holy cow or something like that. It is there, a machine which is available to you, to the voter, to improve efficiency if you want it. You can throw it out. See, as far as I am concerned, democracy principle must prevail. See, Election Commission is taking this very strange attitude that as if, EVM is a sacred chalice. It is not. It is an ordinary machine, dabba. So the question is, democracy principle is a slip which has to be counted. And if want to cross-verify and audit, you check with the electronic counting, which is already available on memory. So anyway, we took up the matter.
The process should be reversed.
It's reversed. That is what democracy is. That is what democracy is all about. That's what all over the world countries are doing. It is what the voter has seen. See, now what actually they have done is, they have converted VVPAT into a, that Bioscope. As children, you would realize They will show a bioscope, dekha, all the day, dekha, and then they'll vanish. VVPAT was not meant to be a bioscope. VVPAT was meant to be a voter verifiable paper audit trail. All we are
Yes.
telling them is, for heaven's sake, use it as such, and the election commission is just refusing it. And when we approach the Supreme Court, they file a false affidavit. They commit perjury in the Supreme Court. I'm talking about 2018, 2019. They committed perjury in the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court gave a kangaroo court order, Ranjan Gogoi. Instead of 1, count 5. That too after the counting process is over. So it was a meaning. So 2019, the Constitutional Conduct Group examined the 2019 election and wrote to the Election Commission soon thereafter that this election was not free and fair. Period. I can send you the letter. A group of about 100 civil servants, all of us who have conducted elections earlier, told the Election Commission the 2019 Parliament election was not free and fair. So what is then? Now I'm coming to a real answer.
Sure.
Then we thought that we must place it before the people. So people like us, as you know, we cannot shoot off our mouth. We can't make allegations. It must be based on scientific. So we constituted this commission headed by Justice Madan Lokur, consisting of experts, including top technical experts. They examined it, and coming to the VVPAT, Professor Subhashish Banerjee, then head of the Department of Computer Science, IIT Delhi, now he's in Chautauqua University, he put together an international panel, best brains in the world, not just computer scientists, statistical experts, and who have worked on electoral system. It's not any Tom, Dick, and Harry, not some software engineer. People who have worked on election system for years together, they got together, about 14, 15 throughout the world. They deposed, and based on that, the final conclusion was, due to absence of end-to-end verifiability, India's EVM CVM voting system is unfit for democratic elections. Simple, clear conclusion. There can't be more definite conclusion.
What I'm going to do is that from this report, page number 19 onwards, I saw that there is a whole paragraph, a whole chapter on, is the Indian EVM and VVPAT system fit for democratic elections? The report has been published, and it goes into specifics. For instance, this paragraph which says verifiability cannot be established by inviting people to hack the hardware system. ECI's challenge for demonstrating hacks is not meaningful. Now, my point is, if hacking is not a way to check the authenticity of a machine, then what is? You also say in this report that testing itself cannot be a conclusive proof that something is fine. So my question, Mr. Devasahayam, is that what should be that method with the help of which we can ensure that this machine is safely going into elections, free and fair elections?
This issue of hacking came up because that was the time everyone talked about it can be hacked. The Election Commission was talking about hackathon and all. I posed this question. I was the devil's advocate in that panel. I posed this question to these technical experts. They said, what about hacking? Your people are not talking about hacking.
Yeah.
2-3 times I asked the question, what the professor of computer science, the Professor Subhashish Banerjee says. He said, Mr. Devasahayam, don't humiliate me. I was stunned. I said, why are you asking? Sir, hacking a EVM machine is a left-hand job of my first-year student. Hacking is the easiest thing. But hacking here is not the issue. Hacking here is the democracy principles, because we had studied the German judgment by that time, and we had drawn on the democracy principles. He said, hacking, let us not look into the hacking at all. Any small-time quack can hack it. So we did not waste our time on the hacking and hackathon. We went only on the basis of democracy principles and end-to-end verifiability. and did the test of EVM based on that crucible only. Then there it failed miserably. Even now, Sanket, you must have read this lengthy this thing Q&A being issued by.
Yeah, 85 questions and their answers.
They have not answered my question. Two of my questions, they don't even raise this question. I was the fellow who raised this question long ago, 2 years ago. Repeatedly, I am raising this question, and they refuse to even. I'll come to one more, not constitutional aspect. I'll come to that. Let me complete this. They will never reply to this. They will go on harping about this what do you call that technical. There is no longer there's not a technical issue. EVM voting is not a technical issue, period. It is actually a democracy and constitutional issue. It's not even a political issue. Politicians are only beneficiaries. So I have already explained to you the democracy issues. I can explain to you the constitutional issue also.
Sure. What are the constitutional implications?
Democracy. Let me complete the democracy issue. So then we suggested, after all this was over, then finally we said, let us give a solution based on discussion with the technical experts. We discussed we should go back to the paper ballot. The technical expert says, no, let's not go back to the paper ballot. Let Election Commission have the satisfaction of continuing with because they seem to be worshipping the EVM. Let them continue with. At the same time, we will give them a solution to make it compliant with the democracy principles. So we gave them a very simple solution. Keep your EVM, keep your VVPAT, but make the VVPAT voter friendly. So what we said was, now this is available at 7 seconds. People keep on saying 7 seconds is not enough, 7 seconds is not enough. Make it 12 seconds. So we are not talking about 7 seconds. That slip is there. But now it is in a kind of paper, which is called the thermal paper, which evaporates. It vanishes. So I said, first of all, improve the quality of the paper so that it remains for 5 years, number one. Number two, make it slightly larger. Third, most important, let the slip get into the hand of the voter. Okay, it is her vote. It is her right. Now it is a fundamental right, actually, as per the Supreme Court ruling. Let her take it and then put it in a box. That means cast as intended, recorded as cast, and the voter is satisfied. Then count these slips which are in the box, chip-free box, non-technical box. So all the three are complied with. In case you want to cross-verify, the machine is always available. Cross-verify. We gave this suggestion in writing. I sent you yesterday that memorandum signed by about 10,000 people. 10,000 people. Election Commission did not budge. Then we conveyed it to the political parties. They have been asking us, what is the solution? What's the solution? So then India Alliance adopted it in December. Exactly the same solution. And Election Commission will not give even, as you know, Jairam Ramesh has been saying, they won't even give. So they won't even give appointment. They won't give appointment to us. They will not talk to anybody. They're just sitting inside their Nirvachan Sadan, thinking that they can conduct the election. They are in fool's paradise. So point I am making is, this is a constitutional body, mandate 324. They are not creatures or slaves of the government. They are the creature of the people of India. We the people, and they will not respond at all. They said they keep on worshipping the EVM as this is a sacred chalice, and nobody can talk about EVM and keep on raising stupid questions and answering them. And now go around demonstrating all over the place, like like children, like absolute foolish children. Demonstrate, नजर आता है, नजर आता है, नजर तो आ रहा है भाई, नजर तो आ रहा है, but तू गिनती नहीं कर रहे हो. पहले भी नजर आता था. They're demonstrating. Can you see? Can you see? So you can see. So election commission is behaving like a rogue child. Let me tell you. Sorry for using the harsh words. So this is the, as far as the democracy issue is concerned. Now let me come to the constitutional issues. This is equally important. Article 324 of the Constitution of India, under which Election Commission has been constituted, clearly says elections should be conducted under the control and supervision of the Election Commission of India. Control. Election Commission is the constitutional body. And they should have full control over the entire electoral process. What is Election Commission? Election Commission is, of course, at the apex, we have the Nirvatan Sadan, 3 election commissioners, basically, and a few others, deputy election commissioners and others, but basically the 3 election commissioners. Then their officers in the state. Each state has got a chief electoral officer. They are part and parcel of the election commission. Then every district, the district magistrate, the district collector is also the district election officer. In that capacity, he is also part of the election commission. And there are, during the election time, there are subordinates to him who are appointed assistant returning officer and assistant election officers. So this is the election commission hierarchy. They should have full control over the electoral process. Under the paper ballot, they had, because I have conducted myself 3-4 elections myself, and I have been a district election officer and all. So, you know, the design of the ballot box, number 1, and manufacturing of the ballot boxes, they were done regionally, locally, under the direct supervision of the district election officer. One of the officers nominated by him will go and sit inside the factory and see that it is manufactured. Direct control over the manufacture of the ballot box. Then the other things like stamp and other things. Then second most important part is the printing of the ballot paper. Ballot paper, the printing process used to be shortlisted and they were security cleared, and a representative of fellow is part of the election commission. RDO or senior fellow will go and sit inside the printing press and manufacture and print the. So direct control, and then counting officers will be there and they will sort out each and every vote. You know, the trace will be kept there, and returning officer will be present inside. In case of any doubtful votes, it will be taken care of with the returning officer himself to decide which is valid vote or not. So almost the control was complete. Under the EVM system, the control of election commission is zero. EVM are manufactured in 2 public sector companies. Components are manufactured either in private sector companies or public sector companies. Election Commission is no control. Both these public sector companies are directly under the government control of the ministries. Recently,
EL and ECIL.
ECIL and BEL. And recently, Mr. E.A. Sharma has written that both has got all the independent directors are from BJP. BJP office bearers are the directors of both these public sector undertakings. They will have the knowledge of all this. So election commissioners absolutely zero control. Then a machine is manufactured, and the chip manufacturing is done both in India and foreign countries. It is in Japan or it is in USA, and it comes back and burnt into the EVM. You can't even open it. Election commissioners can't even see it. Local people, nobody can see it. So then after that, when the earlier the checking, first checking, second checking, and all done manually, people could understand all the process. Now only engineers go there. Engineers engaged by this ECIL and BEL, who are all of them are private people. Nobody knows their affiliation. It is they
Mr.
who
Devasahayam,
know.
as part of this report, on page number 24, there is a paragraph which says that the Election Commission of India seems to be reposing trust in many other entities and organizations, including hardware manufacturers, software developers and testers, system assemblers, and unmodeled custody chains, and is thus not entirely in control. Is this
That's
the
right.
point that you're making right now?
That's what I'm trying to explain. That's what I'm trying to explain in layman's language. They have used technical language. Absolutely, they have no control. So when the Election Commission has no control, Article 324 is violated. So conducting election under the EVM system is absolutely unconstitutional. So
Has the Election
angle,
Commission explained? Because in their frequently asked questions, this was one of the questions that was posed, and they seem to say that at regular intervals there are checks that are conducted.
This is not an answer. Who is conducting the test? What does the Chief Election Commissioner can make anything out of it? Can the local district collector make anything out of it? Except unless he is a IIT graduate. There are some IIT graduates in the IAS now. These fellows may be able to make something out of it. Others have zero knowledge. I even at this age, after being such a senior position, I can't make anything out of it. So that is an answer. Yes, checking is going on, but who is checking? Whose knowledge? See, that's not the answer. So these are fundamental issues. Recently, we have raised it in the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, Supreme Court is not also addressing this issue. They address all kind of things with all kind of. Now, I have raised this question, and as intervener, the original petition is by somebody else based on the CC report. That is dragging on for the last nearly 1 year. I filed my intervening petition about a month ago. It came up, supposed to come up yesterday. It has been dragging on, but it's coming up tomorrow. I have flagged this issue. It's unconstitutional, EVM. See, same thing with German Supreme Court. You see, if German Supreme Court do it, what is different here?
Yeah.
Our constitution is also, our constitution is more stringent than German constitution.
Correct. Now, two questions that I want to ask Mr. Devasahayam before we end this interview. Number one, this report also says trustworthiness of the custody chain of EVMs, which means EVMs from the point that they're manufactured and used in the election process, and then EVMs then being shifted and stored till such time that counting takes place. Now, the Election Commission of India has periodically mentioned and showcased that we have had successful storage, successful counting using EVMs. They say that regime changes have happened using the very same EVMs. 4 elections have been conducted using EVMs. Twice the UPA has won and 2 times the NDA has won. So if regime change is happening, then where is the question of it being a faulty enterprise or a process which is incorrect? How do you respond to this?
Nobody is questioning the incorrectness of the custody chain. Custody chain remains the same for paper ballot system and EVM system. Custody chain remains the same. After the polling is over, polling officer goes through the formalities of goes through the formality of getting the signature of the election agents, then does the sealing process, and transportation takes place under security, goes to the strong room, and it is kept there, it is double locked, sealed, and security is there. And then on the appointed day, counting date is taken out as per procedure. So custody chain procedure, it remains almost the same for both. But the problem is, under the paper ballot system, you can't sort of tamper with from remote in a remote manner. Remote name, the physical security can take care of it. You can't go anywhere near. Here it is a machine. It has software. It has all kind of contraptions inside. And experts say with the kind of technology that is available here, you can deep penetrate anywhere when there is a machine, when there is a kind of some device. Can be manipulated. Physically, it will make no difference whatsoever.
It's interesting
But
that you use the word manipulated, Mr. Devasahayam, because in a recent interview, Mr. Madhav Deshpande, who's the former CEO of Tulip Software, he said, and I quote, EVMs can be manipulated but not hacked.
he is
How do you
100% right. He is right. See, hacking is a different. We're not talking about hacking, but manipulation. He is right because manipulation can be distant through a remote means, and particularly now is a very important point that he's what he means is, see, after introduce this I forgot to mention earlier. See, originally EVM election commission say is a standalone. Standalone, it's OTP, one-time programmable, and it is not linked to any internet or anything. So you can't. Nobody can hack it. Nobody can manipulate it. It is not internet linked.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, after the VVPAT, external device comes in. In the EVM, there was no external device. Chip was burnt in. That was it. So OTP was a possibility. After EVM VVPAT was introduced, after the candidates list is finalized and their what do you call that symbol and all finalized, an external device comes in. It's called SLU, symbol loading unit, and engineers bring in. Engineers, all kind of chartered engineers, contracted engineers, they come and load these symbols and the names which you see when you are pressing the button. During that time, you can always introduce a Trojan. You can always introduce whatever you want to do inside and go back. Now the tragedy is the election commission, I don't know what came into their hands, whereas the control unit and balloting unit both are VVM and the VVPAT as such, all the three should be inside the strong room. This device is given back to the engineer. SLU, which loaded the symbol and the names of the candidate, is given back to the engineer. He can take it home. He can take it home. So what Deshpande said is right. You can manipulate. You don't have to hack. Hack means you don't know anything. You are introducing something. You are introducing something which is totally external, and then trying to hack. That my understanding of hacking. Whereas manipulation is you know the system and you are manipulating. So after VVPAT is introduced, this manipulation is very much possible. That is where the doubt is. ये नजर आता है, ये स्लिप नजर आता है और अंदर पता नहीं कहाँ जाता है. Something may be shown to you and something else must be happening there, and that's why they are not counting the paper slips. So yes, this point is absolutely valid. Yes.
You've suggested some solutions as well, where you say that the paper type needs to change, the print size needs to become bigger, and then the voter must have physical access to that VVPAT slip, which then can be put in another box, so that in a true sense, an audit trail can take place.
Yes.
Am I right with these suggestions?
Yes, and it is very simple. Very simple, and the election commission could have easily implemented. We gave the suggestion in writing in August last year, more than 6 months now, but they are not budging. They're singing hallelujah, hallelujah to EVM even today. Long the FA keeps on going long. They are not responding to the people of India. They are living in fool's paradise. See, I have been watching. See, there was no need for this issue to hit the streets at all. It was being handled by the civil society. It was being handled by the political parties, and it could have been easily resolved in discussion with the election commission. and even Supreme Court intervention also may not be required, because Election Commission is equal under Supreme Court. Okay.
Yeah.
But because of the bullish and doggish type of attitude adopted by Election Commission, it has become a very burning issue, and people have hit the street. You know what happened the other day in Jantar Mantar, and it's not only there; it is throughout the country. Only that the mainstream, the so-called mainstream media, is not reporting it. That doesn't matter. Even if they report or no report, public anger is absolutely visible. But what I am disturbed about is, having hit the street, it will not stop now. So our electoral process, which has been the pride of the nation, internationally acclaimed, one of the best in the world, it has become a butt of ridicule, and India's electoral process has become a highly suspicious affair. Free and fair election, all because of the mulish attitude of the Election Commission of India, who has sealed themselves since 2018. They have sealed themselves and sitting inside, thinking that things will pass over. They don't realize one important thing: you can't conduct elections sitting in the Nirvachan Sadan. The election machines have to reach 12 lakh locations, 12 lakh booths, length and breadth of the country, nook and cranny of the country. Do they have control over the country? And the people who are agitating have already warned that we will not EVM to move. What will they do? What will they do? They have messed up. They have betrayed the country, Election Commission. I'm sorry. They have betrayed the country.
No, I think their explanation beyond a frequently asked question list is the need of the hour, most certainly, with all the questions that you have raised and the solutions that you have proposed. Mr. M.G. Devasahayam, thank you very much for your time, sir. You also seem to suggest, and you made a very interesting point where you said that if a voter is seeing a slip, then that slip ought to be counted, because that is what the voter has seen as his vote. So what constitutes your vote? What is the vote? Is your vote the button pressed and the electronic program in an EVM machine, or is your vote cast that VVPAT slip that you have seen with your own eyes? Are these two necessarily the same thing, or two very different things? I think that that difference that you have brought forward in this interview should be very crucial for people to think. Mr. Devasahayam, thank you very much for your time, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to the Red.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.